Hi guys, I just wanted to go over how to use the Read and Write for Desktop application. You would have this down on your toolbar at the bottom, and it is a little purple puzzle mark. And I kind of have all of the options up here. You can go to settings and you can personalize it a little bit. So you can customize your toolbar. So I have enabled check it, I have prediction, I have dictionary, I have picture dictionary, verb checker, play, pause, and stop, screenshot reader, audio maker, scan, research folder, translator, screen masking, PDF reader. I have all four highlighters, I have erase highlighters, I have collect, vocabulary list. I don't have the Daisy reader because that's more for sort of elementary school. I don't have the calculator. I have forward, rewind, and spell check. Similar word checker can also be a useful one, but you can obviously, like, let's say that I wanted to really take this down, you can take ones off or add them on there. You can also customize for each one. So for example, screen masking, color when masking the screen. So you can change that so that it's bluer or blacker. You can make it more or less opaque. For the mouse spotlight, you can decide, so we can make it even brighter and make it transparent. So the screen masker is actually kind of a great one to have a look at. Let me close this. And your screen masker, it is this one. And I made it darker, so it allows you to kind of scan along and really highlight part of the screen. And as I showed you with the customize, you can make this darker or lighter. The most frequent ones you will probably use are this one, screenshot reader, the audio maker for MP3, the scanner, research folder I haven't played around with a lot, and then also there's a PDF reader built in, so you no longer have to convert things over into Word documents, which is great. So for example, let's take a look at screenshot reader. So here is something I'm using in my English 12 class, and it's a PDF, so some of the normal stuff won't read on it. So if I use, let me customize my toolbar quickly here so that maybe I have less stuff on it. But if I use screenshot reader, I can screenshot like this background section here, and it'll take a second.
Background. The Sword in the Stone tells the story of Arthur, son of Igraine, and King Uther of England. Many men wanted Arthur's throne, and so any heir would be.
And I would use the play and pause and stop buttons over here. Let's say that I wanted to listen to this, but I didn't want to follow along on the screen, and it'll keep whatever you screenshot, so you X out of that. Let's say that I just wanted to listen to the story. You can hit your MP3 audio maker, and you can copy over, and then hit next. And after that processes, you'll see this, and then you hit create. You could obviously copy a lot more text into it. I could have copied the whole story, so I might call it sword, and it's going to be an MP3. And obviously it takes a little bit, but it's going to come up with an MP3 file for me. That'll actually save it in my iTunes, and it'll save it to my desktop. So if I just wanted to listen, it could be a good one if you wanted to kind of walk and listen. The screenshot recorder, I will say, also does work on some of the pages in Canvas. Now, one that's very exciting is this one here, this PDF reader. So for that one, I can hit that, and again, this is a PDF. Then it opens up, and so it wants me to like pick which one I'm going to do. So let's just say I'm going to do this. Here's a copy of the procedural safeguards. It was saved on my desktop. I'm going to hit this little button up here.
Virginia Department of Education Division of Special Education and Student Services. Your family's special ed.
So that's definitely easier. So I hit this button over here, I highlighted where I wanted it to start, and then I pushed play, which definitely is easier than having to convert a whole Word document. However, one final thing that I think you might find useful is I went ahead and converted, well, I guess I'll show you how to do that. A lot of you know how to use this, but you take your scanner button. Oh, there we go. You hit scan next page. And then if I look at my desktop, I'm going to pick that sword in the stone thing we just looked at. 4 pages. I'm going to hit scan. It's going to take a second. Down here I have it going from PDF, and what I have it scanned to is Word. When it's ready, it'll hit finish scanning, and I'm going to call it sword. It's going to save it to my desktop. Oh, sorry, I already did this. I'm going to call it sword 2. And it'll save it as a Microsoft Word, so that's a little more editable. We'll see. Okay. So I have this now version that's in Word. Of course, some of the pictures don't really work out. And of course, I won't be able to get this to move on now. Okay, so here I am, and it has converted that PDF over into a Word document. So something that I find really useful, particularly in history, is I have these 3 highlighters. Actually, I have 4 of them. I have a yellow, I have a green, I have a blue, I have a pink. So what I can do is, let's say that I'm going to highlight everybody's name, like if I was reading something in history, everybody's names in green, and I'm going to highlight all of the dates in yellow. So let's just say, I'm looking in here, I'm going to look at, so Arthur, green highlight, Igraine, green highlight, and King Uther, who are kind of the main characters of this. And then, of course, we don't want to forget Merlin. Let's say I'm going to do names in green. And I'm also going to get Sir Ector, and I want K. I think that's it for names in this piece. So then I can hit this button to collect all the highlights. And I'll hit collect, and it'll give me a document that just has what I highlighted. So this is actually a really great way to kind of study and make yourself like take notes during it. So if you end up with all the important people from it, or if you highlight important events, you'll end up and you can kind of have a list of them. So then you can go back and see what you remember. What do I remember about Arthur? Young boy who pulls the sword from the stone. So that's it, and no, that was a lot, but just to remind you, you have your screenshot reader, you have your MP3, which will create an MP3 so you don't have to follow along. You can scan this into Word. You also have a PDF reader. And then also some of the useful ones are you've got highlighters. You can collect all your highlights into one document, and it'll create like a section for the green, a section for the pink, so things are sectioned out. You have a PDF reader, which I think is the coolest version of the new one. Let's see if it created that MP3